Everyone, welcome to the Russell D. McLean YouTube channel. This is our second video, and today we're going to dive into the topic of the 7 biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make when they leave their jobs too soon when starting a new business. And this is why I said in the thumbnail, don't quit your day job, right? And it's probably why your business sucks. But before we get started, I want to thank all of my Active Income Warrior fans from Instagram. I appreciate your support as usual. And guys, if you could, give us a subscribe, like the video, give us comments. We will appreciate your feedback and use it to improve the experience for you on this channel. And also share it with as many like-minded people as possible, because you never know who you could be a blessing to. Let's dive right in. Now, I want to first, before I dive into number 1 on the list, tell a story of mine, right? Now, I won't get into the whole story, but I'm going to tell you part of it and then finish it off in the end. But what I want to say is, when I first learned how to master ads, right, and I began to consistently convert sales, right, I got too high-minded and I got too comfortable as a tattoo artist. Now, I wasn't working a traditional job, but as you will hear me say many times, the service business that I had was like owning a job. But anyway, what happened was I had gotten so comfortable in mismanaging my funds because I was getting consecutive leads and consecutive sales. I wasn't properly budgeting my advertising spend. And it was getting close to paying rent one time. And what happened was I didn't have any more allocated funds, right, set aside, right? I wasn't liquid, right? I was still living paycheck to paycheck. And I had to make a decision. Either use the money that I had to pay my ad spend costs, or I could actually pay rent, which of course I had no choice but to pay rent. And as a result, my sales declined. And even though I figured out how to create a system to generate consistent leads for myself as a tattooer, which was a blessing, because I'm sure any of you professional tattoo artists know what I'm talking about when we experience roller coaster like sales in our business, right? Based on the seasonal fluctuations. Well, I had solved that. Well, anyway, I paid a painful price. And this is why we're about to dive into the mistake number 1 that entrepreneurs make. Okay, guys. Insufficient financial preparation, leaving a good job without having solid financial planning in place, can put significant strain on personal finances and the new venture. Now, I want you to think about this, guys. When I was a tattoo artist, I was horrible with money. Right? I didn't allocate funds properly. I didn't know how to properly budget. I was living way above my means. I mean, I was the literal prodigal son, right? Now, the benefits of having a job. Now, I want you to first think about this, because a lot of us, we get prideful, which is always a mistake. And we feel like we're a failure if we can't leave our job soon enough once we took on the business. Because we'll have friends and family members asking us, how is the business going? How is that thing you got going? Is it coming along? Have you made any money yet, right? And because a lot of times we're investing money up front without seeing a return right away, we get discouraged, right? And we want to prove everyone wrong. So we leave the job prematurely, and we're not financially prepared to do so, right? And we still may have poor financial habits, not understanding how to budget, right? Not understanding how to leverage our finances to support our business. We're living way above our means, right? Which means we can only invest very little into the business, therefore getting little results. So you definitely want to keep your job. And remember, you're going to hear me saying a lot, live well below your means. This is going to give you leverage like you've never imagined. And take it from me, I literally put myself in a vulnerable state where I was homeless quite a few times because living paycheck to paycheck and mismanaging my funds, which there was an abundance of funds, by the way, and I won't make any excuses about that. I simply had a poor vision and perception when it came to money. I had a bad relationship with it. We'll talk about that in another video, right? But you have to be well prepared financially. And I can attest to you right now, I'm working at Amazon, right? And I'm in pre-launch mode. And that's a part of the reason why I started this channel. I wanted to take people along on the journey so you guys can see me actually launch and scale a business, right? And how to really show you guys that anyone can do it, right? It's not like I'm making a whole lot of money as an Amazon associate, but the fact that I live well below my means allows me to leverage my money in a way that I can always pay myself first and invest effectively in my business in an intelligent manner. Now let's get to number 2 on the list. Underestimating the time to profitability. Many new businesses take time to become profitable, and leaving a stable job too soon can lead to financial struggles during the initial growth phase. Now, most people who've ever started a startup business, whether you're coming from a corporate job environment or you're coming from a blue-collar job environment, you understand that it takes a while for the business to become profitable. Yes, there are some businesses that can become profitable in 6 months, right? Or sometimes even less, depending on the business's overhead and actual fixed costs, right? So if you have a fixed asset, right, that needs to be replenished or maintained, that could be costly in a business, right? You might have a little overhead. So you might be in the red a lot longer, and you may have cash flow coming in, but you might not be profitable, right? So we don't want to leave the job prematurely. I'm telling you, waiting it out, because this is what my mentor Myron Golden says. The reason why you really don't want to give up that job while you're on your pre-launch journey is because it will motivate you while you actually hate going to that job. And not that you hate your job and you don't appreciate it, because it is a blessing. Because like I said, your job is your first business partner, right? Your job is your first angel investor, right? So you want to have that job. It's your actual line of credit. So the job is a blessing, but you hate that it takes precious time away from your family and doing the things that you're passionate about. So if you stay longer, it's going to motivate you to make sure all of the bells and whistles are in tune for your business so that you can successfully exit your job, right? So that takes us to number 3 on the list. Lack of a clear business strategy. Without a well-defined business strategy, entrepreneurs may struggle to transition smoothly from a job to their own business. Now, you definitely want to have a business strategy that is practical and proven. You don't want to move on theory. That's why in the first video I talked about testing, because you need to gain feedback. You need to make sure that it is a viable product that has a high demand in the marketplace, right? Like I said, you don't want to sell what you want to sell. You want to sell what people want to buy. So you always have to be testing to gain feedback. And here's the beautiful thing about working a job and using a pre-launch method, right? And using waiting lists and things of this nature. You can continually get feedback from the marketplace directly on what you need to do to streamline, to update, to upgrade your product so you can give a better user experience for your customers, clients, or students, right? It just makes sense. So you need to actually say, okay, I need to have a practical strategy in place that is based upon proven frameworks and principles, right? I need to build a system. I need a business model. So you need to keep that in mind, because you're going to give yourself an overwhelming advantage, guys. I'm telling you, the blessings that I am experiencing right now currently with launching my business, right? This pre-launch phase has been a blessing for me. Like the pain that I've avoided by taking the time, working a job, paying my bills. I'm not in need of any sales. As a matter of fact, when I share samples of my product with people, they are foaming at the mouth. They want to buy. And I have to tell them, no, you have to wait. Because what you have to do is you have to give me the feedback so I can improve it for you, and then we'll eventually launch it, right? But now I don't have to force sales because I've done what? I've created an environment that actually causes people to feel like buying my products and services, right? So that takes us to the next one on the list, right? Overlooking potential growth opportunities in the current job. Leveraging the current job can provide valuable resources, networking opportunities, and insights that can benefit the new business, right? So this number 4 is a definite writer downer. You should always be writing down these things, these tips on this list. You definitely need to do it, because what you want to do is you want to avoid these mistakes, guys, and you want to actually use the solutions that I give you. But this one is so pivotal, and I can personally attest to it. The relationships that I've gained on my work, right, in my workspace, by coming in, being a person of character, working hard, being a team player, right, being of service to my fellow associates, that actually has built a trustful relationship with people. So when I share samples, they're more than happy to support me in business. And at the same time, I'm giving them insights and information on how they can do the same. And we at Amazon have a unique opportunity because we work in a fulfillment center that services third-party entrepreneurs. So we get to see money being made online all day. And trust me, our aching body actually reminds us of that. So it's a blessing working at Amazon, because no one could actually discourage us by saying, hey, no one's spending money online. You can't make money online. Get a real job. They can't tell us anything like that. We're working for a multi-trillion-dollar company, and we actually can see the flow, constant flow of products going in and out of that building. So the relationships that I've leveraged, the insights that I gathered, the feedback that I get, and not just from my associates, from managers as well, has been amazing. Now, you guys are basically going to be able to witness a character testimonial video that I'm going to create from my associates and management. And they're going to speak honestly to how it is to working with me and to my true character, right? Because yes, I'm going to have testimonials and case studies from sales of my products and services, but the character testimonials mean more to me because I've developed the ability and patience and discipline on personal development and actually becoming a person that people can depend on and that they can trust. Because the worst thing you want is having a bunch of people who misunderstood you from your past. And this could be family members misrepresenting you in the marketplace. So the best thing you can do is take that feedback. Don't actually hate on them or have a grudge against friends or associates or family members who may have seen you in a bad light. Say, okay, take inventory, self-inventory. Say, you know what? I need to fix that. That's a problem. I'm glad I'm willing to develop from that. I'm sorry that you feel the way that you do, right? So the insight that you can gather from your fellow associates, team members, and employees is invaluable. So you definitely should leverage that. Moving on to step number 5, right? Not step number 5. Forgive me, guys. Mistake number 5. I'm going to give you the step after I read the mistake. Back to it. Failure to test the business idea. Jumping into full-time entrepreneurship without validating the business concept can lead to wasted time and resources. And remember, guys, in the first video, I talked about testing. This whole channel is about the concept of iteration and rapid-fire testing and experimentation in every aspect of your life and business. And the reason why I address life, because guess what, guys? You can't have business without developing in life. If you don't develop personally in your life, you can't actually have a well-developed business. And that is just my opinion. Because if I suck and and I lack emotional empathy and intelligence, how can I connect with people and understand their side and build true and genuine, long-lasting relationships with customers, clients, and students? I won't realistically be able to do it because it'll be a facade that I will be having to keep up, which will eventually catch up with me. That's why I speak to life, because developing personally in your life will give you the edge and advantage to develop and add value in your business. So that's why I connected to, right? On to the next one. Number 6, right? And this is a doozy. So you really want to pay close attention to this. Neglecting personal development, continuing in a job, can provide opportunities for skill development and learning that can be valuable for the new business. Now, I have to speak to this because at Amazon, we are moving around a lot and we are trained in new ways often, right? So that could be unnerving to some people who may get comfortable in a particular position. But what I like about it is it forces us to adapt and learn new skills, which we should be doing in life and business anyway, to keep ourselves sharp and fresh. Like I said in the first video, when I spoke on Clayton Christensen's The Innovator's Dilemma, right? That book is so valuable because it talks about how a person can be complacent and comfortable in their success. And then here comes this smaller company out of nowhere that disrupts them because they're adapting to change and the new technological advancements, right? And they're actually aligning their business with how people are now receiving things in a new way in the marketplace. So you definitely want to be developing yourself, right? You have to do that because if you don't develop yourself, you're going to be a bottleneck in your business and you're going to stun it, and that can hurt everyone in your team, and you don't want to do that. Always be a perpetual student in life and business, guys. Moving on to mistake number 7. Now, as I said before in the first video, even if you get all of the first 6 right, once you neglect this 7th one, it can spoil the whole party. So you want to make sure that you're hitting your top and best levels in each of these mistakes, right, and avoiding them. You want to actually use the best practices that I'm sharing. Now, number 7, struggling with work-life balance. And the reason why I say that is there is no such thing as work-life balance. It's a myth because you need to have a season of focus, right? Because when you're building your business, you need to actually be in focus. And once you actually create a profitable business, and my advice is, this is what I'm going to do, right? This may not be for you. You may bring in twice the income from your business that you're making on your job, and then you may exit. With me, I feel like you should, make 3 times as much as you're making it on your job, right? And on top of that, still live below your means to actually be comfortable and to be able to invest in more assets and to grow your portfolio and to create true foundational wealth, right? But the point I'm making about number 7 is starting a new business requires significant time and effort, and leaving a job too early can lead to burnout and strained relationships. And the reason why I say that is you're going to be actually a hard-aholic and not an easyologist, meaning you're putting yourself in a position where you're not that profitable and you're not that secure, and now you got to focus even more, which is going to take even more time away from your family. You're going to have less time to spend with them, because when you're building a business, you have to be in a season of focus, right? And you have to earn that profitability so you can be in a season of balance where there's little focus. You get what I'm saying? Because the time that you're putting on front, and this is the easy hard principle, and Dr. Marvin Golden talks about the easy hard principle, where you do the harder things up front so you can have it easy on the back end, right? And that's the point of this. But what happens is you think that you're giving yourself an easy way out by leaving the job, right? But you're actually making it harder on yourself on the back end. And that's basically when I want to make sure that I'm clear on that, right? And I'm not losing you. Because if you leave the job prematurely, you're going to find that you're going to have all those same bills on top of your business expenses, right? So now you got to double down. And like I said, it's going to require more time of you. And you're going to find yourself working even harder on the back end, which makes no sense. And I know it sounds counterintuitive, right? Because everybody wants to work, that work-life balance. That's a myth. It doesn't exist. You're either in seasons of focus or you're in seasons of balance. And the only way to earn seasons of balance is to put in the seasons of focus up front. Remember, the easy, hard principle. Because when you do it that way, you get to have it easy on the back end. That's why you see a lot of these entrepreneurs, right? They're living the high life. They're vacationing all the time, putting in less work. And Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Work Week, that is the principle of it. It's not that you're only working 4 hours a week, right? Which you can absolutely do that with the right teams. You can literally do that in reality. It has been done, right? But what he's talking about is you are so leveraged in your business and you have so many solid teams and systems in place that it frees up the time for you, right? It frees up the time. And you can spend more time with your family and your loved ones and doing the things that you care about. Now, back to my story, right? The blessing about this job is when I took on the job and I retired from tattooing, because the freedom that this job gave me, because I know people say, well, why would you retire from tattooing when you had your business? It wasn't any freedom in it, guys. It took a lot of time, took me away from my family, and I just didn't like that. Once I learned how to convert and create sales and systems for myself that worked, that I proved, I said, okay, I need to apply these principles to products. And so that's when I began developing them. And when I worked for Amazon, right, an established company, I can just simply have the discipline to show up to work every day, and I'm not relying on anyone giving me anything, right? When I was in that business, I had to rely on someone else to come through and support me, right? Now, if I'm actually creating a product that I create one time that solves a great problem in the marketplace, right, and has a lot of value, it's easy, right? People won't be able to get enough of it. They're throwing money at me, right? But I'm dealing with emotions and all types of personalities and tattooing, and it just was a problem. Anyway, the blessing of the job was that once I learned how to budget my money and manage my money and live well below my means, I actually had a lot of ad spend. So I could actually run and test ads consecutively, right? So that was the beautiful lesson that I learned from actually mismanaging my money, actually not having consistency in my business, right? And that I paid a price for that. Because here I was in a place where I was experiencing roller coaster sales in my business. I figured out a system to generate constant leads and fill up my pipeline, right? Then I got high-minded and lackadaisical, complacent, mismanaged my money, and I had to make a choice. Either use money for ad spend or pay rent, right? Because I had been homeless too many times at that point. I did not want to be back out on the streets, guys. Like, that was a very painful experience for me. So I had to pay my rent, right? But I learned that lesson, and it was very humbling, by the way. And this was the value of me getting this job. And I'm not going to lie. I actually looked at a podcast called Inside the Vault with Ash Cash. This was on the Earn Your Leisure network on YouTube. And he had a guest on there that talked about how your job is your first business partner. And that light bulb went off for me. And I said, you know what? I was going through a mental burnout at the time. Even though I solved the problem of learning how to generate leads consistently for my business, I was burnt out from my tattoo business and all of the life experiences that I was going through at the time. And I decided to, you know what? Lord, just help me get through this. I will get a job and I will do my best to keep it. And I've kept it. And it allowed me to re-spark that passion inside me and remember the why I started my business and wanting to create generational wealth for my family. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get better with my money. I'm going to be faithful with a little so the Lord can bless me with a lot. Now, I hope this video was very helpful to you guys. And again, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, share your feedback. I'm a newbie at this, but I'm in it for the long haul, guys. And I'm going to do my best to improve my video quality and to continue to give you valuable insights and information that you can use practically in your business. So I hope that you follow the channel and follow me on this journey to create generational wealth for our families. Have a great day, guys.